Hello. My thingy is a bit wobbly for some reason, so I'm going to just adjust that. It's on a wobbly surface. Oh. Oh, I'm still trying to work out Zoom, trying to put myself in the get speaker view, and it's not working. Why is it not working? Sorry, Julia, I'm just adjusting the stool because it was wobbling for some reason. Right. Why? Now, the only reason I'm trying to make sure it's speaker view is because otherwise, there we go. Otherwise, the recording shows all of you, which is, I don't know about you, but when you watch Zoom recordings of things that you've bought and they've not put speaker view, it's just really annoying. I find that really annoying. You see everyone, it's like, but I paid just to see the speaker. I hope you're really well and excited by the football rather than feeling too stressed, etc. We're going to use the ball. We're going to start lying down today. I hope you're all okay. To explain my slightly haggard look, Freddie was up most of the night last night with a temperature, so we had to do the whole COVID test type thing, which is negative, but that's why I'm a bit tired. This whole COVID thing, it's a lovely party, isn't it? Anyway, so there is, Emma is coming, but we're going to start lying down. So if you do have a ball, have it somewhere to hand, and if you have a band, also have that to hand, because I'm going to give you options to just kind of use them as you fancy, really. But I thought it might be quite nice to start lying down and then we can finish standing up, and that means also you can be motivated to cheer and jump around for football straight after, or you can just walk in a kind of smooth fashion to sit down somewhere else. So lie yourself down. If you need a pillow, take a pillow underneath your head. Really allow yourself to feel lovely and bolstered by underneath the head if you need it. So a couple of pillows, maybe even a block. See whether you can release the shoulders. If you do have a ball and quite like having the sensation, place the ball underneath your head and you can just sort of roll, release the neck that way. Otherwise, take a moment just to adjust and slow your breathing right down. So see if you can just consciously take a really deep breath in, noticing how the body's feeling today, how's your mind feeling, and then soften the breath out. So whether you blow it out through the lips or you just let the breath sigh out, your choice, but just see if you can allow the breath to fully release. And take 3 or 4 more conscious, slow, deep breaths like that, in through the nose. And 2 more. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And then whether or not you have the ball underneath the head, take a moment for the next couple of breaths. Trying just to breathe, allow the breath to kind of settle into a natural rhythm, and just roll the head over to one side, allow the nose to trace over the shoulder. Notice whether the chin is dropping down towards the shoulder or whether it's parallel. See if you can just consciously make a choice between the two rather than letting your head loll and do what it wants. And then over to the other side. See if you feel that sense of simply massaging the skull and the end of the neck, oiling all those lovely ligaments, finding the little hydration in the muscles of the neck. Often we hold ourselves quite forward focused, unless maybe if you're in the car reversing or occasionally looking over your shoulder when you're cycling. Normally we tend to hold the head hanging down, looking at our phones or screens. So this is a way just of noticing and charting any tension through the neck. You might want to linger maybe gently rotate on either end of the movement. And then bringing it back through center on this next one and just stay there for a moment. And then I want you to begin to draw little ribbons in front of you. So just figures of 8, softly tracing, quite small, or you can make them quite big, depending on how your neck feels. I want you to just notice how it feels to create that very specific shape through the neck and the head. Allow the shoulders to soften, consciously release them down if they're kind of creeping up towards the ears, or you feel like you're pressing away from the floor. See if you can just allow the floor to take your weight. And then changing direction for those figures of 8. So you might take a little brain moment to figure out how to do that. See if you can just reverse the circle. And then come back through center and just pause there. And either keeping the ball underneath the head if that feels nice, or take it away. We're going to float the arms up towards the ceiling, relaxing the back of the shoulders. Breathe in, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, reach, reach, reach. Try and really peel that left shoulder blade off the floor, and then drop it down. And again, other side, lift and reach, trying to find that full range of motion in the shoulder joint if you can, and then drop it down. Let's do 2 more either side. Reach with an in-breath, and then with the out-breath, in to lift, and to drop, in to lift, last one either side. Drop it down, last one to the right, and then with the arms quite straight, so we're not locking the elbow, but you're keeping it nice and strong. I want you just to circle the arms, quite small to begin with. And then gradually make the circles a little bit bigger, stirring the air in front of you, opening into the chest and the shoulder joint as much as you feel comfortable. You can go back behind you and really circle, or you can keep them in your vision rather than sort of going to your peripheral vision, whichever feels better for your shoulder joints. And notice how the rest of your body is feeling as you soften that tension around the shoulders. And then we're going to do the finish from this last one and leave your arms up there, palms facing towards each other. And let's breathe in to open them out. And breathe out, close. Breathe in to open. Now notice if your ribcage, like mine, naturally wants to flare up. See if you keep the ribcage quite heavy as you open the arms, and then soften it down even more as you close the arms down. Let's do 2 more, breathing in. And last one, breathe in, open those arms, and breathe out. Close and release the arms all the way down. Now, if you haven't taken your ball away from underneath your head, do so now, and take the ball, just wheel your bum up from the mat and place the ball underneath your pelvis. So you want to feel that your pelvis is level with the ground. So we're not sending the pubic bone down towards the heels, and you're also not sending it up towards the ceiling. I want you to feel like the hip bones and the pubic bone are level, like a snooker triangle on your front and lower belly. Adjust with the rest of the body. Actually, if you do have a foam roller, you could do the same on the foam roller if you fancy giving yourself a little bit more balance challenge. We're just going to see how our natural stabilizing muscles have to kick in when we challenge our balance just a little bit. So just to orientate yourself with your ball, you can either take your hands onto your lower belly or keep them down, whichever helps you to feel kind of grounded but also aware of what's going on through the pelvis. I want you to just take a lovely deep breath in to prepare, and breathe out. And then breathe normally, just tucking the tailbone underneath you, rolling your pelvis, almost lengthening your lower back towards the mat as you allow the pelvis to massage into the ball. The feet are nice and heavy. You're keeping them grounded throughout the movement. We're going to trace the outside of the ball. Let's go left, to sort of clockwise movement, going round, down and up. And if you like that image of a clock, see if you can trace the clock face Your navel is 12, your pubic bone is 6, your 2 hip bones 3 and 9. We're tracing that clock face and using the ball as a kind of real representation of what that movement we want to create. So use the ball, allow your weight to soften into it. Think about letting those hips really soften as you roll the pelvis around the thigh bones. Notice what's happening in the rib cage area. See if you're allowing the movement to kind of really ripple all the way up the body. And if it is, that's cool, but try and see if you can, for a couple of goes, just limit that movement a little bit around the pelvis to massage into those muscles in the lower back a little bit. When you next get to 12, so that's in that dip tuck position, I want you to go the other way. So rocking round to the right, and down and back up. I guess it depends. Yeah, it's definitely anti-clockwise, that, isn't it? Am I going crazy? Notice if one side feels a bit lopsided or less easy to negotiate. I feel like I kind of go a bit whoop around one corner on this direction. My body just goes into auto mode without actually consciously being able to do anything about it. So just notice if that happens at all at any point on your clock face. Notice what helps you to maintain that control. Is it a pelvic floor lift? Is it releasing a little bit? Do you feel like it's a tightness? Let's do one more circle in this direction. And then rest yourself back down so that your spine is in your neutral, your pelvis is in a neutral position, so it's level with the ground. Let the arms release down, palms facing down or up, whichever makes you feel more solid and grounded through the torso. Let's take a lovely deep breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to lift your pelvic floor. Try and feel that sense of the lower belly muscles, the transversus, drawing underneath the navel, in between the pubic bone and the navel, kind of drawing and engaging, softening into that space. Let's take a breath in here, maintaining that abdominal lift. And as you breathe out, float your left knee in towards you, so single knee fold. You might feel that your pelvis is rocked. See if you can maintain a bit of stability so the pelvis stays stable on the ball. On your next out breath, I want you to float the right knee in to join it. So both legs in your double knee fold. Breathing in. As you breathe out, just release one leg down without letting the lower back move, followed by the second. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, first leg comes in. Notice if you allow the hip to drop or shift. Float the left knee or the other leg in to join it. Release the first leg, followed by the second. Sometimes it helps to check in with parts of your torso, so maybe the ribs as you float the first leg in, followed by the second. When do you feel any sense of change in the torso at all? Let's release the first leg, followed by the second. Let's do that one more time. First leg comes in, second leg comes in. Release the first, followed by the second. We're then going to float the arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing forward, relaxing those shoulders, connecting through the torso. So take a lovely deep breath in, and as you breathe out, drawing in through the abdominal, see if you can maintain that connection as you float the left knee in to start. Single leg fold. Now relax the shoulders here. See if you can find that strength through your center to then bring that right leg in to join the left leg. So we're now in our kind of dead bug position, arms and legs up in the air. We're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, really focusing on that rib-hip connection. So the stability of the muscles in between the ribs and the hips. I want you to send your left leg towards the mat as you release your right arm back behind you. So the leg is hinging at the hip, not at the knee. We're not moving the knee. Bring it back through center. And again, tap the toe down on the right, lengthen the left arm back. And then bring it back through center. Let's go 3 more either side. Tap and bring it back. And tap. Bring it back. Notice if there's one side that makes you feel more wobbly than the other. Mine is when I release my right leg down, I seem to just slightly wobble on my ball, whereas my left leg is a bit more stable and stoic. We've got one more either side. In fact, I've done one extra just for good luck, so maybe you want to do that. Release the foot down, and then bring the knees into your chest, hug them in, maybe circle the feet. I was really craving, for some reason, a happy baby stretch earlier on, so if you want to join me, maybe take hold. It might be easier or not with the bottom on the ball. Take hold of your feet, let your knees drop towards your armpits, and just breathe into that space that you create around the hips and the bum and the lower back. You might just want to have the knees in towards the bum, or even hug them towards you. So whichever one is kind of appealing to your body right now, just select that option. Breathe. And then I want you to hold on to your right leg. Send your left leg with control down, 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 and find the floor. So really try and open up through the left side of the hip. If it feels too much, come off the ball. But if it feels like you just have to stabilize, then maybe just draw into that engagement a little bit more consciously. Relax the shoulders a bit. Breathe. And then bring the left knee in. Change legs, release that right leg away, find that stretch, find the floor, open up through the front of the hip, breathe into it. Notice if one side feels much tighter than the other. Mine definitely does today. And then bringing that knee back in, hug. And let's release the feet down one by one. So from here, we're going to roll the pelvis off the ball. Take the ball away, but keep lifted through the bum. So just take a breath in here, and as you breathe out, I want you to squeeze your glute muscles. So just squeezing the buttocks without pressing the hips, but you might find there's a little bit of hip lift, and that's fine. And then release, but keep the bum lifted, and then squeeze, and then release. So we're trying to notice what else has to kick in to keep your pelvis lifted when the buttocks aren't working. So I want you to really feel that you're turning up this abdominal connection here. The obliques are working here, and you're just squeezing and pulsing the glute muscles. Last one. Squeeze and release. And then roll your spine down all the way to the floor. Relaxing the shoulders. Let's do a few spine curls from here. So with your own breath, so you might want to take a breath in and then breathe out to come up, in to come back down, or you might want to go a little bit slowly and take both movements on the out breath and pause on the in breath. So whatever works for you. Let's take a breath in and breathe out to move. Pressing the hips towards the ceiling, breathing in to roll down, or breathing in to pause and then roll it down. Whichever works. Let's just do 3 or 4 of these, maybe even 5 if you're doing it quite swiftly. I always like to do a little roll, a twist of my spine. Sorry, a message on your phone, on the computer, which is quite nice for ironing out any kind of tensions. It's a bit like a long pelvic clock, which you might want to experiment with if that sounds nice. So you roll onto one hip up the side of the pelvis and then all the way down that same side, the different side. Lovely few bits of spine curl there. Now we're going to go back to the ball. So I want you to roll over onto your side, grab hold of the ball and place it where your rib cage will be on your mat. If at any point this feels just a bit too much or doesn't feel right for the shoulders or the lower back, take the ball away. So you can do exactly what we're doing, but just without that additional kind of feedback of the ball. So we might get the distance a little bit wrong to begin with, and that's totally fine. You're going to take a breath in, placing your hands behind your thighs. Try and soften the shoulders, lift up through the spine. Feel the breastbone is sort of almost being drawn upwards rather than sinking down. We're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, find that pelvic floor engagement. Send the tailbone through the legs and begin to roll yourself down towards your ball. So when you find the ball with the shoulders, and again, you might need to adjust yourself. So mine is a little bit high. I'm going to softly roll it back a little bit. I want you to come to a position where your feet are flat on the floor, and we're going to take our hands behind our head. Now, if you do have a nice stack of cushions, leave it there. You want to have that slight elevation if you can. If not, don't worry, but I don't want you to feel like you're hanging into the neck at any point. So make sure you don't ever kind of drop the head back without any support. So from here, in this slight curled up position, we've got our elbows in our peripheral vision. I don't want you to hug the elbows towards each other, but I also don't want you to let them kind of ping back. So keep them connected, which helps you to draw into those oblique muscles. So think about when you drop, the rib cage tends to ping. When you hunch, you're kind of slumping. We're in that lovely happy medium. Head pressing into the hand, conscious connection through the back of the hand. So I'm going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, contrary to what it feels like you might do, we're actually going to lower ourselves back with control. So think about opening the front of your body like a cobra, reaching back, nose lengthens away from breastbone, but we don't hang into the neck. Breathe in here, and as you breathe out, I want you to nod the chin to the chest, press your rib cage into your ball to curl yourself up. Now with this curl up, from here, we're going to lift the hips. You're going to bring the hips, sort of almost drawing your pubic bone towards your nose. And then from here, you're going to lengthen the spine back. So like the lift of a spine curl, breathing in. And as you breathe out, roll the spine down like a spine curl. So feel the abdominals working, and then complete it with a little curl up. Okay, so we've got lots of components there to this movement. Breathe in here, breathing out, using your belly, press the hips up towards the ceiling. So you've got them in the kind of the same plane as your shoulders now. Keeping the bottom lifted with control, lower down. So it's like your cobra. Think about opening through the front of the body, and then breathe in, breathe out, roll the spine away, lengthening your pubic bone away from your nose. When it gets there, tuck the chin towards the chest, press actively into the ball with the back of the rib cage to curl yourself up. So I want you to really feel like the abdominals are working here. It's not, you're not lifting up very high, but I want you to really feel active through the belly. And then you're going to lift the bum and lower with control back down, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Breathing in, breathing out, roll it away, lengthen your bum away towards your heels. And then last one, we're curling up, looking down towards your pubic bone, and now lift the pubic bone. Breathing in, breathing out, release it back behind you. Breathe in, breathe out, lengthen the bum away. And then from here, just let your arms release down. Now, if this might be too much, but it might be quite nice. So it depends how you feel with your shoulder and upper kind of chest area. If it feels quite nice, kind of hang there, maybe massage a little bit. If it doesn't, just take it all away whenever you see fit. So whatever works for you. We're going to breathe. And then I want you to roll over onto your side, off the ball, and come up to sitting. Oh, I just saw a cat wandering past. Lovely Pilates companion. Let's come up to sitting. Coming into a cross-legged position. Crossing the way you don't normally cross, remember. And let's take the hands onto the knees to begin with, and let's just do a little circle. So working a little bit into that same space, but with a little bit more control over how much you want to manipulate the rib cage area. We're just opening up into that space. Let's do one more in this direction. And then pause and then go the other way. Really using that elbow shoulder connection here, that leverage. See if you can find a little bit of stretch maybe into the hips and the back, simply by creating that pressure, working against your own resistance. One more like this. And then come back through center. And let's come into a little mermaid. So a mermaid. So take your left leg out beside you. Release your right leg in front. If you need to, you can just sort of get your ball and just kind of sink your buttock onto it, your sit bone onto it, if you're feeling like your pelvis is super lifted on that side. Or if your knee doesn't like it, do adjust and come back into a seated cross-legged position if knees don't like this one. Try and lift up. So I have a real tightness on this side, so I always want to slightly lift up. So for me, it's about trying to lengthen my torso evenly. So see if you feel that you're not even on both sit bones, that's totally fine, but see if you can lengthen out through the waist and kind of adjust to the position. And let's release the arms down by your side. Lifting up through the right arm, so lengthen the fingertips towards the ceiling. Let the shoulder blade relax into the back, nice long neck, and reach up and over. Breathing into that space. Breathing out. Let's breathe in once more for luck. And then find the floor, reaching like a windmill. Place the hand down and then a little bend in this elbow as you reach up and over. Soft, long neck. We're not kind of hunching the shoulder. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's go again. Lifting up, reach. Breathe into that right side of the waist and the left side, trying to lift up through the supporting side. And then find the floor and reach. And last one. Lifting up, lengthen. And then on this last one, we're going to go for a little bit more of a stretch. So finding the floor and then just press down into this knee, lift yourself up. Let's reach and really have a lovely stretch all the way down through this left side of the body. Breathe into it. Keep lifted through the right side. So find resist gravity on that supporting side. And if you want to, let's come into a rotation, bringing that left arm all the way down and soften into a little relaxation. So notice where you're feeling it, whether it's in the hips, maybe the groin area, maybe the back of the shoulders. And coming back through center, gently lift yourself up. We're going to swap the legs around. Notice how it feels on one side compared to the other. You might feel much more grounded. You might feel really weird on this side. So see how, whether you need to use your ball or a little cushion underneath the sit bone to help. Try and lift out of the waist wherever you are. So we're trying to avoid that slumping, that sitting down, relaxing into the ground too much. See if you can find that energy up. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, the left arm comes up and over. Breathe into that stretch. Breathing out. Windmill the arms, lifting on that right side and all the way across. Breathe in. Breathe out, reach and lift. Breathe into the stretch. Breathe out, reach and lengthen. Last one, lifting up all the way over. And then we're going to come and add that hip lift, so pressing down into the knee, lifting up, feeling that sense of energy through the supporting side. Notice where the stretch is most apparent for you. Breathing in, breathing out. And then just sitting the bum down, but coming all the way down into a little twist. Unless it feels like it aggravates any knees or hips, in which case just come to a central position. Listen to your body. Breathing in. And then when you're ready, come back up to your seated position. And let's just bring the legs out in front of you. And just shaky, shaky. So kind of let them really release out from the hips. Maybe even give them a little massage all the way, a little kind of tactile connection. See if you feel any tension. Just imagine like a little rag doll, or what you would do to your cat or your dog if you were playing with them, just kind of Try and really release that tension through the front of the legs. We tend to build up a lot and then just don't ever let it go. So I want you now to just have your legs slightly wider than hip width, releasing the shoulders into the back. Let's float the arms up. Relax those shoulders. Take a lovely deep breath in. Bring the palms to face forward as you then dive forward, just lengthening the forehead down to face the ground and release the crown of the head forward. So we're trying to kind of lengthen our fingertips towards the toes. You're not trying to bring your nose between your knees, but you're trying to just sort of allow the arms to be parallel to the floor. And then bring it back. Imagine lining your back up with the pole behind you, relaxing the shoulders into the body. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, nod the chin to the chest and reach yourself forward. Lengthening forward. Imagine someone's gently pressing in towards your abdominal. So you're lengthening up and over a resistance, really deeply drawing through the lower abdominal muscles. Breathing in. Breathing out, shoulders connect into the body. Try to lengthen through the neck. Reach the crown of the head towards the ceiling. We've got one more or two more. Let's do two more. Breathing in. As you breathe out, lengthen the back of the neck. Gently fold forward. Notice if you've disconnected the shoulders from the body, just hug them in if you can. Breathing in. Breathing out, rebuild. Lengthening up. Last one, take a breath in. As you breathe out, lengthen and release. Feeling that sense of deep engagement through your center. Breathe in, breathe out. Lengthen up. Lift the arms up. And then from here, just bring the feet towards each other. Release the arms down and into a little butterfly stretch. So you're just opening into the inner thighs. Breathe. And then from here, let's come onto all fours. Bring the knees quite nice and wide. Maybe even mat width or a little bit wider if that feels comfortable for your hips, but bring the toes together. And we're going to send the bum towards the heels, come into your child's pose. So lengthen the arms away and just gently fold the body forward, relaxing the forehead towards the mat. We're just breathing here for a moment. See where you feel that space, maybe a stretch. Notice the sensations of the breath in the back of the body. See if you can really stretch the back of the body with the breath. And then from here, I want you to keep your right arm where it is, and then just gently looking underneath the right armpit, feed that left arm through. So just breathe in this position. If you want to, you can take the right hand and just place the back of the hand onto the sacrum on the back of the pelvis. Just open your chest a little bit, or you can just leave the arm where it feels comfortable. Breathing into the heart center. And then with control, come back through center. Just pause momentarily in the center, relaxing the forehead down. And then when you're ready, looking underneath the left armpit, feeding that right arm under. Breathe. And then when you're ready, coming back through center, placing the arms firmly down onto the ground. And then from here, just sort of bring the hips up slightly and curl the toes underneath you. I want you just to hover the spine up towards the ceiling, coming into a downward facing dog. Now, it doesn't matter if your legs are straight. I want to think more about your spine. So if you need your legs to be here so that your spine isn't here, then so be it. So really think about lengthening through the back of the lower back. Breathe. And then releasing the knees down with control. Let's come into our little squat position that we lingered in a little bit last week. So I want you to adjust your position so that you can open into the hips a little bit. Not if it's really uncomfortable, don't go into pain, but I want you to feel that you can just gently work into any tension. So a little moving frog, maybe rolling from heel to heel to open up into the inner thigh area. And then bringing the knees towards each other. Allow the back of the legs to lengthen as you bring the heels down, and let's just fold ourselves forward. The knees can be as bent as you need them to be, so don't necessarily straighten them if that doesn't feel right for your hamstrings, but just breathe here. So let the neck be completely free. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. Breathe. And on your next out breath, let's roll up through the spine, bone by bone. So really imagine the front of your body restacking, lifting from the pubic bone towards the nose and the crown of the head. Feel how much more lengthened you are now since you last were in this standing position. So take a moment to just sort of adjust against gravity now that your head is above your heart. Breathing in. Maybe circle the shoulders, roll them up, squeeze the shoulder blades back. And change, just reverse the circles, change direction. Take a breath in. Now as you breathe out, let's rise up onto the toes. So finding that little balance, feel really tall and lengthened, and then slowly lower the heels down and then roll yourself down. So rolling bone by bone. Breathing in at the bottom, breathing out, soften the knees if you need to. Let's rebuild. Lengthen the crown of the head up. Press the floor away, rising up onto the toes. Slowly lower down through the heels, breathing in. And let's breathe out, roll down. Breathing in at the bottom. Breathing out, restack. We've got 2 more of these. Make sure your head is poised at the end of the spine before you then rise up onto the toes. And lower, kind of leaving your head where it is. So try and maintain that lovely length, and then we're going to roll down. Breathe in, breathe out, restack. Shoulders relax, let's press the floor away one last time. And slowly lower and roll down. Rolling back up, maybe circling the arms and the joints on the way up. And let's take the legs a bit wider. Just circle the body. Give yourself a little pat on the back for making it to class. Well done, you. Slow it down. Coming into a lovely standing position where you can just focus on your breath. Lovely deep breaths in as you open the arms out, and press on your out breath. Do 2 more in, and last one in, lovely and tall and wide, and let it go. And you're done for today, guys. You can enjoy the football, feeling nice and flexed and happy, and I will see you next week. See you later.